basically, you will attract into your life what you think about the most. That's the easiest way to think of the law of attraction, but we're going to go much more in depth than just that alone. Now, you may have seen the movie The Secret. The Secret is on the law of attraction. I think it's a great movie. It's a great book, but I think it leaves a lot out. The way that The Secret seems to be for me is I'm going to sit down, I'm going to figure out what it is that I want. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to think about it all day long, and the universe is just going to bring it into my life. And I think that that's part of it, but it's missing a lot. And that's what I want to dive into. And there's no real explanation of how it works. So it makes it a lot easier to believe in something when you know exactly how it works, because then you go, okay, yeah, I can get behind this idea. You can't just sit there and just meditate the rest of your life and try to meditate $1 million in your bank account without actually getting up and doing something, right? So it requires you to, yes, the law of attraction, but also it requires action. You got to do something. So we're going to dive into that. And to understand the law of attraction, we must understand our bodies as they are. Our bodies are molecular structures that are vibrating at a massive speed at all points in time. So you can look at my hand, and my hand seems like a solid object, but my hand is not solid. It is actually vibrating. If you were to be able to look at my hand through a microscope, you'd be able to see all of the trillions of cells in my body, all of them moving at a specific rate, whatever that is. If you look at anything that you can see in your physical reality, everything is a vibrating structure. My desk, this podcasting mic, the camera this is recording it on, my computer that's recording this audio, everything is vibrating. It's just that everything is vibrating at different speeds. And we're constantly vibrating. Everything is. The difference between my body and my desk, though, is that my desk is one constant speed, one constant vibration. My body changes depending on my thoughts and my feelings. So, I'll give you a perfect example of how this is going to make sense to you. Have you ever walked up to somebody and you just have a bad feeling around that person? Like there's just a feeling of something's not right? That is your body's vibration and their body's vibration coming into contact with each other, and they're not in alignment in some sort of way. That's called destructive interference, if you want to go deeper into it, right? But have you ever met somebody before and you don't know why, but you just connect with them and you get an incredible feeling around them? That is my body and their body, their fields coming together. I know it sounds weird. I get it for those guys that are analytical. Our fields coming together because your vibration of your body doesn't just stay within your skin, right? So we are in alignment. If I'm vibrating at a certain rate and that person's vibrating a certain rate, I'm going to have good feelings. That's where the phrase good vibes come from. That's also where the phrase bad vibes come from. Is you can tell whether something's right or wrong. You can tell whether someone is right or wrong based on basically how you feel. Now, in order to understand how the law of attraction works, we must understand two separate things. Number one is our conscious mind, which is the mind that you hold all of your thoughts in. And the other one is then your subconscious mind. So we're going to get really deep today. I hope you're ready, right? Your conscious mind is the mind in which you think, right? Your conscious mind is only about 5% of your thoughts throughout the day, right? Everything you think about, and you can only hold one thought at a time. Your subconscious mind is like your mind's filing cabinet. It doesn't know this is true, this is false. It just takes all of the information and stores it all away as if all of it is true. It doesn't decipher the information, it doesn't think about it, any of that stuff. But what's interesting is that your subconscious is in control of about 95% of your thoughts, your feelings, and the way that you see the world as well. So it's really important before we dive into the law of attraction a little bit more in depth is to actually understand the way your subconscious mind, which nobody tends to talk about when they talk about The Secret and they talk about the law of attraction, how your subconscious mind actually dictates the law of attraction and what rate you're vibrating at. Now, you have to realize this. The subconscious mind, once again, just takes everything that you say and automatically stores it as true. So if you talk negatively about yourself in your head, if you talk trash to yourself, say, oh my gosh, I'm so stupid, then it's automatically going to take that conscious thought stored in the subconscious as true. So if you constantly just keep thinking this and thinking this and thinking this, that thought of I'm stupid over and over and over again now becomes a personality trait of somebody who is stupid. And now you actually believe at your core that you're stupid. If you think, oh, I'll never attract the right man, or I'll never attract the right woman, or, all guys are players, or any of those types of things, those thoughts will then store into your subconscious and you will take actions that line up with what your subconscious believes in. So after years and years and years of thoughts being away, being stored away from your conscious to your subconscious, you will develop a paradigm. A paradigm is what you believe is true, and it's usually in the subconscious. You don't even think about it. It has shaped your life throughout the years. Your program from your childhood is where your paradigm, that's actually what dictates what your paradigm is going to be. So if your paradigm as a child, if it shapes the way that you view the world as an adult, it's everything. It's what you believe, it's what you don't believe, it's what you love, it's what you hate, it's the language you speak, if you believe in yourself, if you don't believe in yourself, if you talk down to yourself, if you're rich and successful now, if you're poor now, if you ever will be rich and successful, if you'll continue to fail in relationships, if you have, a successful one, the way that you raise your kids, your paradigm literally dictates everything that you do, everything that you think, everything that you feel, everything in your conscious mind, everything in your subconscious mind. It dictates everything. So let me give you an example. If you were born poor as a kid, right, and your parents always got in fights about money, and your parents were always in debt, and they said stuff like money doesn't grow on trees, and money's the root of all evil, and in order to be rich and successful you have to screw people over, then your brain's going to take that and take that and take that and take that, and then it's going to consciously store it into your subconscious. And now you've got a paradigm just around money itself of I have to screw people over, I'm never going to be rich and successful, I have to do bad things to make money. Money's the root of all evil. Money doesn't grow on trees. Now I've got a paradigm around money, which is going to change my perception of the view of money of the world. It's going to change my thoughts around money. It's going to change my vibration around money. And it's going to dictate the way that I either attract money or don't attract money, or the actions that I take to go make money, or the actions I take not to make money. So if you're poor now, as an example, if you're rich now, as an example, if you're good in relationships now, if you're bad in relationships, all of those are guided by your paradigm. And those were all programmed into you at some point in time when you were a kid. Now, that being said, when we're looking at the programming, we're looking at the conscious and the subconscious mind, we're looking at the paradigm, it's not something that you can just change overnight. It's not just something that happens quick and easy. It takes time, but believe me, it's worth putting time into and to actually start figuring these things out. Right? So ultimately what we're trying to do is we're trying to, in its simplest form, we're trying to affect and change all of the results that we have in our life. We're trying to affect and change all of the results around our money, making more money if we want, our relationships, having better relationships, our happiness, our joy, our success, everything. And it all starts with what you think, right? And what you think, whether it's good or whether it's bad, goes into your subconscious and will eventually produce whatever results you want in your life. Now, if you want to change your results, you're going to have to change your thinking, right? And all of your results typically line up with your paradigm. So let me give you an example. There's gonna be a lot, I promise you. I told you this is gonna be a rich episode, just so you know. Do you know somebody who has all of the education in the world? They have, degrees falling off the walls, and they're getting another degree and another degree and another MBA and all this stuff, but they just can't seem to succeed. They just can't seem to figure it out. Do you know anybody like that? Have you ever heard of someone like that? Why do you think that is? Because they think that education is going to change them, but it's not. What actually changes and needs to change is their paradigm, because they can get all of the education they want to in the world, but their paradigm hasn't changed. Now, what does this have to do with the law of attraction? Your paradigm is in control of the frequency of vibration that you set off into the world, the frequency and the vibration that your body is at. So in order to change your vibration, you must change your frequency. In order to change your frequency, you have to understand how your programming works, how your paradigm works, and what is stored inside of your subconscious. And when I say change your frequency and your vibration, the easiest way to think of it is this. If I'm inside of my car and I'm going for a drive and I have the AM station turned on in my car will never pick up an FM station if I am tuned into an AM station, right? It won't happen because I'm in an AM station, not an FM station. So the same thing happens where if the law of attraction, the way that it works, if I have a poverty mindset, if I have a poverty paradigm, if my subconscious is being run by these poverty thoughts and money's the root of all evil, you have to screw people over and you have to work all day in order to become successful. If I have that poverty mindset, then I'm going to send that, it's in my thoughts, it's in my body, I'm vibrating in a poverty mindset frequency, I'm going to send that out into the world, right? So an example of that would be all of the people, places, opportunities, and things that could get me out of my poverty mindset. I won't even notice them Why? Because if someone comes in that could change or an opportunity comes in that says, oh, this could get me out of my poverty mindset, I'm not even going to recognize it as something that could help me. I'm automatically going to push it away the same way that if I meet somebody and I'm not vibrating at the same frequency as them, I'm gonna get bad vibes. So for instance, I might have a poverty mindset and the best freaking investment opportunity or the best business idea can come into my awareness, can come into my field, can come into my, I can literally be sitting there and talking to somebody who's got the best business investment that can make me millions of dollars. If I'm vibrating at a negative, poverty mindset, I'm not even going to take that thing as an option. I'm going to be like, no, this isn't right. It doesn't feel right, which is usually how you can tell, the frequency. It doesn't feel right. Why? Because I'm vibrating at poverty. If abundance in wealth comes into my life and starts to vibrate, I'm not going to be in line with it. There's going to be a part of my body that says, no, Rob, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Therefore, I will reject that person. I will reject the opportunity. I will reject everything around me that could get me into my abundance, that could get me into my wealth, because I am at a poverty mindset. To normalize whatever it is that you want, because everything that you want is fully 100% within your reach. But if you think to yourself that it is out of reach, I promise you, you've already taken yourself out of the race before you've even stepped up to the line. The way to win in life is to figure out what it is that you want and to normalize those feelings, because the life that you want is within reach. That 10 years from now, that perfect life, that beautiful family that travels all over the place and has the abundance of money to do whatever they want and to give it away and to give it to charity, all of that is within reach, but you have to normalize the feeling internally first before you actually get it externally.